A ruling of an American court, the Chicago State University has released a certificate which shows Nigeria's president, Bola Tinubu, indeed attended the school. Now, Atiku Abubakar, a presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, had sought the release of Tinubu's certificate as part of his petition against the victory of the incumbent Nigerian leader in the 2023 elections. The release of the certificate has been a long-drawn battle and one which is expected to set political precedents in Nigeria's nascent democracy. Well, we have a lot to talk about. I'm glad to say joining us to unpack the certificate saga and what it means to Nigeria's politics are Kassim Afegbua of the All Progressives Congress. We also have Umar, Sani, a former spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party's Presidential Campaign Council. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight on Politics HQ.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's start off this way. I mean, it's quite a controversial one. I'm sure you will agree. The release of President Tinubu's academic records by the Chicago State University, it's been a subject of what we can call significant controversy and legal battle. What do you think are the key implications of this development for politics in Nigeria? And of course, for the ongoing legal dispute regarding the result of the 2023 presidential election? I'll start with you, Kassim Afegbua.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity of this discussion. If your man who contacted me told me that he was going to discuss issue of certificate, I wouldn't have obliged him because we waste too much time on issues, on frivolities that are not helping to deepen our democracy. There are too many challenges confronting us as a country presently. We have been talking about this Chicago for only God knows how long. The emphasis has shifted away from Tinubu did not win election. So, it's now a Chicago issue. So that means he won the election truly, but it's now his academic records that is now under dispute. I think Atiku Abubakar should spend all those monies that he has, deployed into this legal excursion, to helping poor Nigerians, pull them out of poverty and make life or add value, to the commonality of our existence. Rather than spend so much money recruiting lawyers in America just to, drive at frivolities, as I call them.
All right, Kassim.
Now that that's come to this end, where is he going to start pleading new evidence? Is it the Supreme Court, or does he want to go back to the lower court again? I don't understand.
All right, Kassim, interesting point you've raised. Are you saying that the documents released, if you'd like to use them as evidence, cannot be tendered before the Supreme Court?
Have you seen the evidence? You that you're asking me this question. Have you seen the evidence?
No, you asked where you tendered the evidence.
Flying over the social. You are seeing so many things flying over the social media and all that. Their lawyers, the lawyers will go and tender their cases before the Supreme Court. Our lawyers will reply them. These are no issues that are boggling my mind. I'm looking at opportunities that we can use to add value to Nigeria, to the well-being of Nigeria. You're talking about certificate or no certificate. President Bola Tinubu is already the president of Nigeria. Heavens will not fall. He's going to serve out his term. He's going to recontest, and he will win for another term. Atiku Abubakar should know that his time is up. All this desperation, trying to go to Aso Rock through other means, it won't work.
All right, Kassim, thank you. Kassim, thank you. Let me ask Umar Sani for his take. Umar Sani, you're former spokesperson for the PDP's Presidential Campaign Council. Kassim Afegbua has described all this talk of certificate forgery or no certificate forgery yeah, whichever way you look at it, both for and against, as a frivolity and a waste of time. Do you agree with him?
Well, Kassim Afegbua, with all due respect, is my friend. And most times, we hardly engage ourselves in conversations like this because we know where we meet, and we socialize together. So, however, because the matter has reached at this level, I think it is important for me to draw my friend's attention to the fact that when they say an election has taken place, an election is not merely to cast vote and to swear in the president. The election starts from the party primaries up to the dispensation of justice at the Supreme Court. So the processes in between have been granted to the petitioner to look at ways and means to express his grievances. And some of these grievances include, one, to determine whether the elections were substantially complied with, whether the person who contested along with him satisfied all true requirements to being a candidate before he even contests the election, and whether the election is a true reflection of the will of the Nigerian people. And so Atiku is exploring all these means to ensure that he deepens our democracy and deepens our judicial process. First and foremost, the issue has been in contention that Bola Tinubu did not attend Chicago University. Dispense with the Chicago Magistrate Court and the Chicago District Illinois Court. And the documents were submitted yesterday. And so the matter is before the court slated for today. Now, it is the deposition that will explain more of the details of the documents that were released yesterday. As such, for anybody to the school has authenticated or they have cleared is merely a heresy. The fact of for them, and by the time the depositions are concluded today, we have still a window to bring fresh evidence to the Supreme Court and allows for fresh evidence.
Okay.
Where the person who is supposed to present that evidence at a lower court or at a certain time didn't have that evidence, but before the adjudication of the matter, he comes up, he has the presented before the court.
All right.
So I think
Umar, thank you very much. Umar, thank you. So, but back to Kassim. Kassim, if this whole issue was such a frivolity and not that important, why did your leader, your party leader, Bola Tinubu, spend his resources to hire an American lawyer to defend him in the States and even attempt to prevent Atiku Abubakar gaining access to his academic records? Kassim?
Well, first of all, let me tell my friend that the Supreme Court is not a court of evidence. The Supreme Court is a court of jurisprudence. You're not going to be looking at your fresh evidence and all of that. Even the Electoral Act is very clear about that. You are not going to make fresh pleading. You have presented your case before the tribunal. The tribunal has listened to them. What you are not satisfied with what the tribunal said, that is why you are appealing. That's number one. Number two, you're talking when somebody takes you to court, the onus is just on you to also put up representation. But what I'm saying is that we devote too much time and attention on trying to get into the power rostrum through the back door, just the way Atiku is doing. For me, I see that at the realm of desperation. He should rather save us the hassles of going through too many platforms searching for victory when he couldn't convince Nigerians to give him votes. Tinubu defeated him, handsomely. And so he should realize that he's been defeated. 8.7 million Nigerians voted for Tinubu, and Atiku should realize that his 7.1 million votes could not match up with the majority votes scored by Tinubu. So what he cannot get through the ballot boxes, he's going through that means to think that he can get it as a capital no. You see, the point must be made that, well, elections is a process. When the claims of displayed as required by law before the elections, how come Atiku didn't realize that he needed to fight this one as a pre-election issue? Why is he just waking up because he lost the election and he's just waking up and he thinks that he can just use this court process in America and all of that? Can't you see the mockery on social media that people have read somewhere where they said he's asking for the marriage certificate of Tinubu to his wife, and he's also maybe just people are just, these are leaders that should be enamored in one way or the other as statesmen. But to display that kind of desperation because you want to be president at all costs is, to me, a carriage of excess kindness.
Okay.
We don't need that kind of thing.
Interesting, Kassim. Yes, I don't know if that, Kassim, I don't know if that talk of marriage certificate is true. I haven't seen anything credible yet to that effect. But permit me to bring in Umar back at this point. Umar, well, we've seen the statement by the university and on the university's letterhead, and they've said that indeed President Bola Tinubu graduated from Chicago State University in 1979. What are the potential consequences of this confirmation to the electoral dispute at the courts, considering the fact that it's one of the central points of contention for the Atiku Abubakar petition?
Well, let me state that it was trial in America. It is the university itself. So once a university is to defend itself, to show that it is not complicit in the things that it has been alleged, it is natural for the university to issue a statement to say, yes, this man actually graduated. But the fact of the matter is, did he actually graduate? That is why our lawyers are pressuring the matter of this matter. So for anybody to say that the university has said this and so the matter is concluded, then there would have been no need for us to even file the suit before the court because the university had said so. But the fact is, we are saying that the university lied, that is not the true state of the situation. And so we want the university to bring some records and to come under the position to defend those records. These are the issues. For anybody to say that Atiku is desperate, the matter is that Atiku has been known to be a panel beater. He panel beats people who want to get out of the way. The reason why he had issues with his former principal was because his former principal was looking for a third term, and he said no, and he didn't support him. So many things he has done for our democracy. And in this case, what he is doing is not desperation. He is trying to put the record straight, to deepen our democracy, to ensure that the person that is claiming to have won the election did not actually win the election, and that INEC did not conduct a true and fair election for anybody to say that the election was credible.
Umar, are you therefore saying that as far as you're concerned, that affidavit by and the statement under oath by the Office of the Registrar at CSU, that he was lying? The statement released under oath saying that they can confirm that Tinubu graduated from their school. You're saying that they're lying on the oath? Is that what you're saying?
What we are saying is, if we actually believed the school, we would have discontinued the process. So because we didn't believe the school, and we want to go down deep into the substance of the matter. And so whether the registrar was under oath, why are we saying now that there must be a deposition?
But if you had not believed the school, then why approach the school to give you information? Because some would argue that the issue under contention is that Tinubu forged his certificate.
For your information, to compel the school to give us the document. We didn't approach the school at all. There is nowhere we wrote to the school to say, give us the documents. We approached the court, and ask the court to compel the school to give us the correct records. That is what happened.
So are you saying that the CSU registrar lied on the oath in the statement on behalf of the school?
It's a registrar, not a human being.
Okay, all right. Kassim Afegbua, over to you. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, my brother, I think whatever myself and Umar, whatever we are saying here with respect to these issues, are just mere opinion. They have a window for appeal into Supreme Court. They should please go and tender their documents. We'll go there with our lawyers to propose them. But I can tell you for a fact that these are needless distractions, that at this point we do not need. When you tell me that Atiku is trying to I don't know how. He has been a perennial, as this perhaps maybe his last outing at his age. So he wants to put in all his energy and all that. But I just, the last kick of a dying horse, that's just the truth. This can't fly anywhere.
Kassim, you don't sound too confident, in the statement of CSU that your principal, your leader of the APC, actually graduated from your school. I thought you'd be sounding jubilant.
There are no issues, my brother. There are no issues. These people are just carrying out media blitz everywhere, here and there. The school has written. They say it's a female, it's a man, it's this. They've seen admission letter there, Mr. Tinubu, and all that. What do they want to see again? What are they fishing for?
But are you confident? Are you confident that now you can boldly say, as an APC member, look at the information from the school, look at the statement from the school under oath in the United States of America?
We had never doubted Tinubu's academic record. The man who is the Jefferson case is still in America. The Atiku that he's talking about. Can he enter America? The Jefferson case is still unresolved. What is his own credentials? Leave all these issues of. We know what is happening. People are just trying to create a media bliss here and there just to create, a credibility problem. But we know that Asiwaju is on top of the game. He's on top of the game. They will be disappointed, and we are waiting to hear the appeal at the Supreme Court. It is needless for me to say anything more than that because the Supreme Court is the court of final jurisdiction on this issue. So we wait for them. Let them present their appeal. Then we'll also give a response. Our lawyers will give response. But I don't have any doubt of that about Tinubu's competence and qualification.
Okay. So as far as you're concerned, Kassim, is this matter now nearing its conclusion? Looking at the fact that the school has put out these documents, as far as you're concerned, is it over for Atiku's ambition to use that route?
You should be asking Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, because from day one, I have not even been reading things that are flying from different corners on this issue. There are no issues. See, what is bothering me now is how to take Nigeria out of the woods, how to generate policies and programs that will take off, that will respond.
Yeah, but Kassim, as far as this United States court, case is concerned, and the request or the pursuit of Tinubu's academic records are concerned, as far as that is concerned, from the Atiku's pursuit, do you think that now it is clear that they don't have a case from that angle? That route is closed. That chapter is closed from what has been stated by the school?
They never had a case before. They were just going on a wild goose chase. They never had a case before. They were just fishing, fishing for where to clutch. Just to make the point that yes, people representing
All right, sincere apologies for that, Kassim. It seems your network is being interrupted. But let me go back to Umar Sani, former spokesperson for the People's Democratic Party's presidential campaign. Umar, let's take a closer look at the CSU's response to the 4 requests made by your principal, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, which, I mean, you know, there's been a lot of confusion. Some are not getting it right. But the first request by Atiku Abubakar was a true and correct copy of any diploma for a Bachelor of Science degree issued by CSU in 1979. He just wanted a correct copy, a true of any. And in response to that, this is what the school said. The documents responsive to this request, which CSU, after diligent search, has been able to locate, are produced herewith, dates labeled CSU 0001 through to CSU 0007. The students' names on these diplomas, that's what Americans call certificates, have been redacted for privacy reasons. So you see that there's a black box covering the names. So that has been granted. Are you satisfied? What was the reason for that? Anyway, let me start from there, Umar, for asking, requesting for that, the copies of any diploma or bachelor, for a Bachelor of Science degree issued by CSU in 1970. What's the purpose for that request? Umar?
Well, you see, the controversy surrounding it has been adequately dealt with in several fora. An American-based professor, who is also a Nigerian, Professor Faruk Perogi, had done a clinical analysis of the issues. And in his conclusion, he has concluded that Tinubu forged the certificate, that the certificate actually does not belong to that school.
Umar, Sani, Faruk Perogi just went on Twitter and put out his opinion. Yes. I want us to address what the court has presented, which is there for everyone to see. And I want your opinion. What was the reason, the reason behind this first request for a true and correct copy of any diploma for a Bachelor of Science degree issued by CSU in 1979? What do you think? What was the thinking behind it?
There are so many diplomas that Tinubu has put up before INEC. And if there's a diploma which is different from the diploma that he put when he was looking for governor, so many things are before INEC that, and Enahoro Eba, somebody in Nigeria who went to request from the school under subpoena, also got a different diploma that Tinubu presented, which was also signed by the school. So these are issues for determination. These are issues for confirmation. These are issues.
Umar, so the school says that in its response, that the documents, responsive to this request, which I read that earlier. So they put that out, and if you look at the certificate, it has the same writing, the same font type, the same heading as the certificate presented by Bola Ahmed Tinubu to INEC. The only difference was the logo of the school, which is a white hand and a black hand clasped, in a handshake. Do you have any issue with that? Probably you have an issue with the logo.
Well, I think I'm not aware. I don't know the American system of doing things, but a school logo should be a school logo. And if the school changes its logo, I think there is a need for everybody, for the school, to put it out there that we have changed our logo and this is our new logo. And so if nothing like that happens, it means something is wrong with that document.
Okay, let's look at the second request, a true and correct copy. This is what your candidate asked for, a true and correct copy of any diploma issued by CSU in 1979 to Mr. Tinubu. To that, the response was that the CSU does not, in the ordinary course, keep copies of student diplomas, and after diligent search, they cannot locate or could not locate a copy of the original diploma it prepared for Mr. Tinubu in 1979, and hence has no documents responsive to this request. Some have said, okay, how were you able to get the documents for request number one? They didn't even tender only one. They had a number of those. For the first request, for certificates from 1979, but for the second request for the certified true copy of Tinubu's own certificate, you said you couldn't find it. That people are asking questions about that. Umar.
Yes, the point is, just now you mentioned that a diploma is equivalent to a degree. Now, if you said a diploma is the same thing as a degree.
As a certificate.
It's a degree certificate. Would a school anywhere else give you a degree certificate and they don't have a copy? They don't know, they don't have anything to show that this is the degree we give to you as evidence? I think we should begin to ask ourselves and do an introspection to say, actually, there is a silver lining.
Okay. Okay. Kassim, Afegbua, what's your take on this? That the school said they searched diligently and came up with copies of degrees awarded, certificates awarded in 1979. But in the second request of Atiku, they said they couldn't find his because they don't normally keep such copies of such certificates, with them.
Chicago State University, number one. Those who went to American courts and fishing for documents that they want to use to prosecute a case that is almost concluded in Nigeria, let them begin to tell us, because they went with a specific request. The school had tendered the one that they are under oath to tender. And so asking me why the school is taking that decision, am I in a position to know whether the school is telling lies or not?
But do you think, I'm not asking you why, I'm asking for your thoughts on that. Do you think there's something irregular?
I told you from the beginning of this discussion, if I had known we were going to discuss it, I wouldn't even feature. Because for me, these are mere distractions. A sinking sailor a sinking fisherman trying to clutch at flotsam just to stay afloat is the case of the PDP and its candidate now. Because as far as I'm concerned, we have moved on. These people are just dragging us backward because they think they can take over.
Kassim, do you think it's normal for a university not to have a copy of a certificate it gave out to its students? Very quickly, we're out of time, please.
You can ask them if it is their policy. You can't fault them. If it is their policy, you can't fault them. So if it's their policy, fine. If it is not, it's a different matter altogether.
All right.
I have never worked in Chicago State University. I don't know how they operate there. I've just had the word diploma now.
All right. Well, we have to leave it at that, gentlemen. Kassim, I know you've never worked in CSU, but I was hoping you would rely on your knowledge of global best practices or global practices to, give us an answer. We'll take a break now, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time. And when we return, we have a second conversation.